Hello everyone, this is Robert with Team Copperhead, and in this video I'm going to be talking about our fight with Witch Doctor in 2021 season of Battlebots. If you haven't seen that episode, go ahead and watch it, come back, and we'll talk about the fight. Alright, so let's start out the video the same way that we always do, talking about strategy, our thoughts going into the match, all that good stuff. Going into the match, we were, I don't want to say we're confident. We weren't confident going against Witch Doctor, but it was a good matchup. There's worse matchups for us. Witch Doctor is a very good bot and a very good team. However, they don't like forks, and that's always nice for us. They have kind of a flat front and their weapon sticks out a little bit. We want to go weapon on weapon, so that's perfect. It gives us best engagement with their weapon, and we'll talk about that later. But Witch Doctor has historically not always fared well with weapon-to-weapon attacks, and they use weapon discs. They have those two discs in front where we use a weapon drum. There's a big difference between a big chunk of metal versus a disc of metal. I think their discs are something like 1 inch thick, which is what our frame is made out of, and our drum is several inches thick at any given point. I forgot the exact diameter of the drum, but it's a big chunk of metal. If you have a thin disc going against a big chunk, you're generally going to have the advantage to the chunk of metal. So we were very happy going drum full first onto them, and because they're not using, wedgelets or any kind of fork nonsense, it makes it easier to get to those weapon-on-weapon hits. As far as configuration, they're a vertical spinner, so we're not going with the horizontal crossbar, nothing like that. We didn't want to do magnets because we knew that there's going to be impacts. We didn't want them exploding and shattering in the arena, so we kept it really simple, just went with the standard configuration, double-checked everything from the Lucky fight, and went into the match like that. So before we get into the full fight analysis and, of course, what happened and why we stopped at the end, let's take a moment to look at Cuddles' swag for this episode. We ended up making a little foam felt hat. Went to Walmart and grabbed some felt pieces and did that in preparation for the match. Cuddles was actually very nice with this. She handled it quite well, and it was a fun little nod to Witch Doctor. I wish more teams would kind of do these little things. It, I think, makes for better TV, and it was fun to do. And at the end of the day, we obviously lost this fight, but we're one of the few teams that, well, the only team that brought a live animal onto TV, which is pretty cool. And let's be honest, we took a snake and put a hat on it and had it on Discovery Channel. So I don't know, that's a win for me. That's a win in my book. And we can also look at the drum art here. Kim did a really neat artwork for the drum on this fight. This was probably my overall favorite that we did. Witch Doctor obviously has a lot better themes to play with than some of the other bots, but I really ended up liking this one a lot, and this was really cool, and I'm glad that Discovery actually got a good close-up of this. So let's talk about the actual fight. The fight itself is pretty short, and there's not really a whole lot to talk about. That first hit was really good. That's what we were hoping for. That's what we were wanting. That sent them flying backwards. That was perfect. The problem was they landed back on their feet, and we kind of went chasing after them, and I think if I had to do this all over again, I maybe wouldn't have chased them. I just would have maybe stayed in the middle of the arena and got the drum back up to full speed. I think the biggest problem is that when we hit them that next time, our drum wasn't at 100% power. If the drum was at 100% power, we wouldn't have flipped back over. It would have been much like the very first hit that we had. And unfortunately, that really weak connection made us flip over on our back, and then from there it was very difficult to self-right again. And we did kind of end up self-righting a little bit, but towards the end, the drive was already dead, and there was really nothing that we can do. The drum was totally fine through the whole fight, but without the drive, obviously we can't self-right. And I'll talk about those issues later. They did get one really good hit on the back of us, and that was the first time since the Kronos fight in first or second season of Copperhead. It's the first time that we actually got frame damage. We've never really received any damage ever. Gigabyte did a little bit of a scratch or scuff on the back. Waiachi did a little bit of cosmetic damage to us, but this is the first time we were like, ooh, the frame actually got hit and that can actually cause an issue. We thought that was the problem, but it actually wasn't, so stay tuned for that. But the fight was a lot shorter than I hoped it was going to be. I just wish we could have gotten flipped over. We were hoping that if we got 1 or 2 more of those weapon-on-weapon hits, their weapon would have died, and then it would have been our fight from there. And you heard Mike say that there was a chip out of their tooth on their weapon, and if you see them at the end, there's a little bit of vibration. I think they would have only lasted maybe 1 or 2 more direct weapon-on-weapon hits. They would have outdriven us, no question there, but if we can shut down their weapon, then it's just basically a judge's decision if we can last. So I don't know, too many theoreticals, but what ended up happening is we just lost control. They got us upside down and we were unable to self-right in time. So let's talk about the actual damage and what happened to Copperhead. So this is the point in the video where everyone's going to just go ahead and fast forward to it, and I don't blame them. What happened to Copperhead at the end? Why did the drive stop working? Well, we originally thought that it was that hit on the butt. We've never really been hit from the back on the butt. After all these seasons, it's never happened. People always want to go for the wheels, and I'm telling you right now, guys, don't go for the wheels, go for the butt. The butt is the most vulnerable part of Copperhead, not the wheels. Don't go for the wheels. So they hit us right on the butt. We were upside down. The butt of Copperhead is kind of like this V-shaped, and we were upside down, so where they hit kind of dug into that middle section of the frame. We're basically 3 parts. We have the left-hand side, the right-hand side, and then kind of this tray that's in the middle, and that tray is the thinnest part of the entire robot. But as you can see from these pictures, it just kind of bent it in a little bit and did breach it a little bit. Thankfully, because we were upside down, it ended up hitting what is the top side. The top side is where the soft start circuit is for the robot, and that is parallel to the rest of the electronics, so it can just get obliterated, which it did, and it doesn't really affect functionality whatsoever. It doesn't impact the electrical system. If they had hit the switches from down below, we might have run into some sort of issue because the switches could have been compromised. But the switches were fine, and the whole electrical system was actually perfectly fine after this fight. It's just kind of bent in a little bit. So what happened with the drive? We got the robot back into the pits, checked everything out. The wheels moved, everything mechanically felt good, except for one of the drive sides was just a little bit crunchy and a little bit locked up. On further inspection, we found that a lot of debris had actually gotten into that side by the motor. Unfortunately, the motor cans are magnetic because that's how motors work, and a lot of the debris just kind of got attached to the outside can, and it got wedged inside with that nylon cage that we have around the motor, and it just kind of locked that side up. We are still not at all sure what happened with the other side. We powered everything up, all the electronics work. I kid you not, just a little bit of clearing out the debris, powering it back on. Copperhead was at 100%. It's just one of those things that happen. And I know we've had drive issues in the past. This isn't one of those. This is just what happens to robots sometimes in the arena. It's just a big hit happens. Things just want to reset. They want to go take a nap, and they just wake up later. And so we're not really sure what happened. There was no issues with the electronics, no issues with the motors. Mechanically, everything looked good. It's just that there was some debris that was causing the motor can to lock up a little bit. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of other teams use in-runners, is because the can of the motor isn't actually moving. It's a critical piece that is moving inside the robot, and you really need to fully shield it from debris or anything else, whereas the in-runner, everything is turning on the inside of the motor, so everything's pretty well sealed off from debris. So that's something that we're going to learn for next season. And that's a great segue. What is next for Copperhead? What are we going to be doing next season? Let's talk about that. Copperhead does plan on attending the next season of Battlebots. That is no question. We have only used one of our 2 robots for the last 2 years. So we have never actually used our backup in the 2021 or the 2020 season. And this year, I don't really know if we went through a couple bushings, and maybe a couple fasteners here and there, but generally speaking, we had no motors and no electronics go out and no batteries. So we really didn't consume anything in this past year, and we only consumed like a motor or two in the previous season. So really it's just, you know, kind of remaking a couple spare parts and we should be good to go. The tray of Copperhead is going to need maybe to be bent back in place, but that can be the backup bot. As I said, we didn't use our backup or spare for 2 years. The drum is getting a little tired. It's getting a little bit beat up. We did actually use the other edge this year and that got pretty beat up. But we haven't used the other drum in 2 years. So we can just switch to that other drum. And the other drum is technically heavier by about a pound or two, and all of that weight is actually on the outside. So by a quick math, I think that drum should be about 10 to 15% more energy in that drum. So that'll be kind of interesting. So we've probably got about 1 season left in Copperhead without having to fully remake the bot. Should have enough wheels, should have enough frames, should have enough top covers. Really didn't see any damage there this season. The biggest thing that will change is I'm not going to be on Copperhead anymore. I'm just kind of, I don't know the best way to say this without kind of getting dramatic, is I'm just kind of over it. It is so much work, so much money, and then, you know, just to have everything edited and cut out and, oh, this is on YouTube, it's just not worth it. It's way too much time and effort sitting around taking, you know, 2 weeks off for vacation, taking all your PTO at work just to sit there and get, you know, 10 minutes of airtime or whatever it is. So yeah, I'm just kind of over it. I might be helping out with the Copperhead team, and you know, I might be on the team next year, but just not in any real official capacity, just kind of helping out as a second set of hands. But I'm not going to be captaining the team. We're not going to go to all the lengths and efforts of getting a snake on TV just for Discovery to largely ignore that. So yeah, I'm just kind of over it and a little bit done. I'm not really that sour. I've always said it's a TV show, and it's a TV show first, and I don't tell them how to do the TV show, and they don't tell me how to build a robot. But I'm just kind of stepping back, and I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing these recap videos. Who knows? It's just one of those things that you have the 6 months build up to the show, then you've got filming, then you get back, and then you have to do the recap videos. It's basically just kind of continuously through the whole year, you're just Battlebots, Battlebots, Battlebots. So it's just a significant time investment that I'm no longer willing to make. So said another way. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out my YouTube channel for more updates. I'm still building stuff left and right, so I'll still be doing some updates on my other projects there. And you know, if there's anything interesting to share with Copperhead that I'm involved in, I might be sharing that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for a really good season. And I guess I should mention lastly that because of where we landed in the round of 1632, whatever, we missed all the bounties or whatever they're calling them this year. So we're not going to be in any more fights. We basically just missed that sign up due to the scheduling. So that is it for Copperhead for this season. Hopefully we didn't mess up too many people's brackets, but as always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.